Lead. Should kids be the target of high caffeine energy drinks? That's what some senators are now asking. This tweet was sent to Senator Dick Durbin. It shows a toy being sold at Target with Rockstar energy drinks slapped right on the front. That toy is made by Ronin Syndicate Toys, an action sport toy manufacturer who has other Rockstar energy drink products on their site. Back in July, the Senate Commerce Committee held a hearing with energy drink leaders and asked them who their target market was. Here's Rockstar COO Janet Weiner.
Rockstar always has been committed to not recommended for children, and by that we mean under 12.
So if the company is targeting consumers over 12, why put the brand name on a toy that's for kids ages 8 and up? Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal is one of the senators asking Rockstar for some answers. And to take the brand off the toy, he joins me now from Hartford, Connecticut. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. You sent a letter to Rockstar Inc. asking them to explain what's going on. We also tried to contact them. We were not able to connect with them. What has Rockstar told you about this toy?
Well, Rockstar plainly is using a toy and a ploy to pitch their products to children. And that's very troubling because these products can be dangerous for children because of the high levels of caffeine. And these kinds of marketing pitches aimed at children are one of the reasons why emergency room visits concerning these energy drinks are skyrocketing. And we're asking this company and all the energy drinks manufacturers to stop their pitches and marketing ploys to children using toys as well as social media and celebrities and athletic stars, the whole panoply of pitches.
Now, to play devil's advocate, you know, parents play a role here too. It says energy drink right on it. They should decide not to buy their kid the drink. They should decide not to buy their kid a toy that bears the name of the drink, don't you think?
I agree. Parents have a very important role to play. I say that as a parent of 4 children. And I believe that parents need to be more responsible. But, you know, these companies are circumventing parents by using social media, which often are not understood or overseen by parents. And what's more, many of these children can buy these drinks on their own. There is no labeling. There are no requirements, as there are, for example, for cigarettes, that the purchaser be above a certain age. And so 12, 13, 14-year-olds, as well as even 9-year-olds can buy these drinks on their own, and that is tremendously troubling. So better labeling, better restrictions on purchasing are what's needed.
And let's explain the dangers of this drink, because we spoke to a woman named Wendy Crossland earlier today. Her 14-year-old daughter died from cardiac failure. The mother says it was after her daughter had consumed 2 Monster drinks in 2 days, although a heart condition was also involved. She had a heart condition, although she wasn't prevented from drinking these things. Listen to what Wendy told us earlier today.
Unfortunately, this is bigger than a niece. She wasn't the first, and unfortunately, she hasn't been the last. If you've watched any of the kids from high school and middle school, they wear all the shirts and the book bags, and it's the thing.
She said even her daughter had asked for a shirt with an energy drink logo. She told her no. Now, we reached out to Monster. They did call us back while we were on air. We're going to post their statement online when they send it to us. But what do you make of the merchandising aspect from these companies aimed at 12, 13, 14-year-olds, apparently?
The merchandising and marketing are really creating a monster, literally, as the name of the drink implies. And the reason is quite simply that high levels of caffeine for children taken regularly can be extraordinarily problematic and dangerous, especially given their growth levels, their maturities, and other problems, heart conditions, that may make them even more susceptible to these problems. And what we're asking the energy drinks to do is to label so that children know these drinks should not be consumed by people under 18 years old, but also take ownership about some of these health problems and exercise greater responsibility voluntarily. Otherwise, the government may have a role to play. I'm reminded a lot of what we went through on the tobacco issue, and I was one of the attorneys general, state attorneys general, who spearheaded that effort. And we found that the tobacco companies were really marketing to children through cartoons and other kinds of ploys. This marketing is reminiscent of that merchandising. even though the product obviously is very different. Energy drinks are nowhere near as dangerous as tobacco, but for some kids, they may be extremely problematic.
All right, Senator Richard Blumenthal, thank you so much for your time.